To my team, we've got to walk into the world of really bad. I've got to tell Congress that we're restarting this, not in some frivolous way, in a hugely significant way. Look, this was terrible. It makes me mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election. But honestly, it wouldn't change the decision. Everybody who disagrees with me has to come back to October 28th with me and stare at this and tell me what you would do. Would you speak or would you conceal? And I could be wrong, but we honestly made a decision between those two choices that even in hindsight, and this has been one of the world's most painful experiences, I would make the same decision.
Joining me now, former FBI Supervisory Special Agent Ali Soufan, author of Anatomy of Terror, and MSNBC contributor Naveed Jamali, former FBI double agent, author of How to Catch a Russian Spy. And I keep wondering what people in the Bureau think about all this.
Well, you know, it's a very difficult situation. And the people in the Bureau were attacked when Director Comey said that Hillary didn't do anything wrong. And then they were attacked when he sent the letter to Congress. And you know what? James Comey that I know, James Comey, who used to be the United States Attorney in the Southern District of New York, James Comey, who went down to the Department of Justice, and as a Deputy Attorney General, he stood up against illegal wiretapping. James Comey, who, you know, was appointed by President Obama.
Yeah.
He is an honest man. You know, now we can disagree with him. I think even he is troubled with his decision, and he said that mildly nauseous. Think about it.
That
maybe I made a mistake.
It's one of the record.
You know, it is. It is. We might disagree,
you
but
basically.
I truly believe that he is honest. I truly believe that he did not. Look, imagine, Chris, just for a second. Imagine that he didn't send a letter. Okay, and let's say Secretary Clinton got elected, and then it came up, oh, you know what, they had that, they leaked it, and now they didn't say anything about it, and he concealed it, and then we'll have a witch hunt against the FBI, and we will have the same thing that's going on now.
That's right, but just to be clear, and this is the thing, Naveed, I'd like to get your sense of this. I mean, the policy was clear here. I just want, like, the DOJ policy here is you don't do it. I mean, he affirmatively broke policy because his concern about the post-election, what that would look like. But the decision affirmatively, are you in the same camp as Ali on this?
I think I don't know. I think Comey was very clear about this. He said, look, I sent the letter, and it was essentially Congress who leaked it. And he knew that. He knew that was going to happen.
I mean, it took Chaffetz like less than a second. It was like on his Twitter page, investigation back open.
Right. I mean, look, never underestimate the self-preservation of a government employee. I think that was clearly...
Right.
He could have been like Sally Yates. Sally Yates took the high road. He didn't. I don't know what to say. He should have sat on
the
that.
Self-preservation to me
gets two different things, though. It's two different things.
But self-preservation, but that's the thing, right? So it seems important to me to distinguish between good faith critiques and bad faith, right? So the bad faith critique is he wanted Donald Trump to win and all that. I don't think a lot of people think that. I
don't believe that at all.
I think of this phrase all the time, right? So I think that's...
I don't believe it.
I think of this phrase all the time that Ahmed Chalabi said after Iraq, they found no weapons of mass destruction. He said, we were heroes in error. I'll always remember that phrase. We were heroes in error, meaning we didn't mean to lie to people. We just got it wrong. And you can say, well, he just got it wrong. But what he got wrong, if he got it wrong, is a pretty big deal.
Exactly. And you know what? You have to think about it not from a political perspective. You have to think about it as an insider in the FBI. And I know how the FBI functions from inside as an FBI agent. And sometimes you have to make decisions. And sometimes these decisions are good, and sometimes the decisions are bad. And when they are good, you get a lot of credit for it. And when it's bad, you get slaughtered for it because you are in the FBI. But at the same time, on October 28th, DOJ didn't have a lot of credibility. And one of the criticisms that Comey gets inside the FBI, that he fell on the sword for DOJ. He fell on the sword in order to come and release the results of the investigation the first time, because the Attorney General was sitting in the back of the plane with President Clinton. And that was big. Probably politically outside, it's not big.
But inside the FBI, just tweeted about Comey yesterday, though. I mean,
well, that is crazy. I mean, if you want to talk about the President of the United States tweeting, well, why God?
Okay, you know? But here's my here's the thing that troubled me the most. I want to play this exchange, okay? Because actually, when we were covering this back then, the thing that troubled me more than the letter, affirmatively, were the leaks that were coming from the Bureau. All this wildfire speculation. She's about to be indicted. They're readying indictments. And listen to this exchange, Naveed. Tell me what you think of this. Listen.
Did anybody in the FBI during this 2016 campaign have contact with Rudy Giuliani about the Clinton investigation?
I don't know yet. But if I find out that people were leaking information about our investigations, whether to reporters or to private parties, there'll be severe consequences. But it's a matter that I'm very, very interested in.
But you are looking into it?
Correct.
I found this tremendously troubling. All of these leaks that were coming out, it was in the wake of the Comey letter where the stories built as if, and that to me seemed a real fundamental violation, particularly that close to an election.
Absolutely. And look, and I know Ali can speak about this too, but the FBI is organized by divisions, and I think each division has its own culture. And I think it's important to note that the leaks were not coming from the counterintelligence folks or the people I know. There's 14,000 agents. Counterintelligence is a tiny, tiny percentage of the overall FBI special agents. They purposefully, they don't say much. I mean, and if the leaks were coming, it was coming from the other side. I think.
But the thing that we were learning was that it was coming from the New York Bureau, who didn't like Hillary Clinton, and I just felt for those 2 days while this was happening that we had found ourselves in some rogue republic.
The leaks were coming from former FBI agents who claimed they knew people in the FBI. They were the people who were talking, to the networks and saying,
fair distinction.
So let's be clear, and that's why I think
they were hearsay to begin with.
They were hearsay to begin with, and that's why you see the director is saying we are investigating this. We're looking into this, and I know that there's a lot of investigations going on in the FBI concerning leaks.
All right, Ali Soufan, Naveed Jamali. That was great. Come back anytime.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, that is all in for this evening. But before I go, I want to invite you to join me for a Facebook Q&A about my book, A Colony in a Nation. It's tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern. If you've read it, I'd love for you to show up, ask me questions, offer critiques. I'll be there to respond to your questions. The Rachel Maddow Show starts right now. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Chris. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. And thanks to you at home for joining us for the next hour. SIB Energo Group. SIB Energo Group.